Kosher Kitchen. We talked last time about the Gentile commercial baking. Right? Now we're going to focus in the next class or two about Gentile cooking in general, not necessarily baking, cooking. For example, cooking at a friend's house, at your house, a case with a maid, helping an elderly guy, a sick person. What's the procedure? What needs to do? A restaurant. Okay, so we're going to talk about cooking. Lighting the fire and setting down the pots. Again, like Gentile baking, Gentile cooking can become Jewish cooking by Jews being involved in the process. In which way a Jew can be involved in the process? We'll remember. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol nihya bidvaro.
Just by throwing a stick in the fire.
Thank you, Sammy. Huh?
Just by throwing a stick in the fire.
Stick in the fire. What if it's a stove or electrical stove?
Just in the heat.
Turn it, right? Make sure to turn the heat up or increase the heat up, right? By opening just the door, the baking. When you do baking. Okay? The preferable method is for the Jew to actually place food on the lit fire, which may have been lit by Gentile according to some opinions. It is also possible for a Gentile to place the pot on the stove and for the Jew to light the fire. In this case, it's preferable that the Gentile place the pot on the stove first and that the Jew light the fire afterwards. Okay, so especially mashgiach and supervisor in the restaurant, they know the procedure. He's waiting for him, he's putting it on, and then they light the fire. What they do in the restaurant, it makes it easier because they light all the fires. Okay, so it's there, you can put pots, take it out, let's make it easier. Okay. So that the actual cooking begins at the hands of the Jew. So even if he put the pot, but who lit the fire? The Jew. So it can be considered as Jewish cooking. But if the Jew lights the fire first, it is also acceptable. Under no circumstances, though, may a Gentile light the fire after the Jew has placed the pot on the stove. Do I need to repeat that? Mm-hmm. The Gentile put the stove, the Jews want to light is it okay? Let me read this line again. Guys, wake up. Under no circumstances, though, may a Gentile light the fire, after the Jew has placed the pot on the stove, because it would be now considered as a Gentile cooking. Who turns the fire on? So that's not acceptable. That procedure, that produces a clear case of a Gentile cooking, and the food is forbidden. The only exceptions, according to some opinions, is if the Gentile lights the fire with a flame taken from another lit burner, which was lit by a Jew. Like we have 3, 4, or 5 of them. You can use them. Okay? All of these applies to Sephardi as well, except that they do not permit a Jew to light the fire in advance of a Gentile placing the pot on the stove. They consider that particular arrangement Gentile cooking. Okay, so it has to be right now, when he puts, everything needs to be follow one after another. Okay. Now, what will be the case if the Gentile lights a fire and place a pot on it to cook? He turned the fire, he put it on, and now you see there's a lot of food in it. What you going to do with it? if a Gentile lights a fire and places a pot on it to cook, there are remedies. There's a way to get away with this. There are remedies that a Jew can do to give the food the status of Jewish cooking. Any ideas?
Add salt, spices.
Oh, good. What else? One possibility is for the Jew to steer the pot a little. This can be done anytime before the food is completely cooked. Another possibility for the Jew is to turn off the fire and relight it. These two can be done anytime before the food is completely cooked. What you mentioned about adding the spices is more a Sephardi thing. Does it just not to steer, for example, to get more involved? More involved, it's with adding. Now, what will be the case if they already put enough salt and spices? They're going to ruin the food. So, as long as it's not completely cooked, turn it off and turn it back on. Okay. Just as a Jew can change the status of a pot while it is cooking, so can a Gentile. If a Jew places a pot on the fire, which is then removed before it is 1/3 cooked, and then a Gentile returns the pot to the fire so that it finishes cooking, the food is forbidden as a Gentile cooking. You consider everything that is 1/3 and up is already considered cooking. If a pot is removed from the fire after it is 1/3 cooked, however, nothing a Gentile does can affect it. Okay? Likewise, a pot is placed on the fire by a Jew, but afterwards the fire is extinguished. It must be relight only by a Jew, and not by the Gentile cook. This is why the mashgiach, the supervisor in the restaurant, needs to be there. Something happens, says, "Hey, Rabbi, a mashgiach, come please." The fire got extinguished. So they already know that. They hopefully. It must be relit only by a Jew, not by a Gentile cook, or else the food reverts to the status of Gentile cooking. Okay, again, there's nothing to do with the quality of the food. It could be a chef that is Gentile, that is 10 times better than the Jew. There's nothing to do with that. It's just the halacha that our sages set in order for us to make a distinguish between the two nations, if I want to call it that way. So it won't be mixed marriage and so forth and so on. So they have to be very strict with that. Okay? There is something called distinguish and something called separation. Separation is one level, distinguish is a higher level. In Hebrew it sounds hafrada or havdalah. Havdalah. It Saturday night, havdalah. It's kind of like a separation between the holy and the mundane. Havdalah, it's in another level. In the Torah, it mentioned that Hashem will havdalah, between us and the other nation. Okay? HaKadosh Baruch Hu separate, havdil, ben yom, day, and night. It's not separation. Separation could be, you're here, but you're still together. We have in the shul separation between men's section and women's section. But we're next to each other, but it's not really havdalah. Havdalah is completely, Jews pray in the shul and Gentiles not praying in the shul. That's complete separation. Okay, it's at a higher level. You understand where I'm going with it? This is the difference between havdalah and hafrada. Separation and maybe distinguish. I don't have any other. You have any synonym for it? It's a separation on a higher level. I don't know any other words for that. Okay. This only applies though before the food is 1/3 cooked. Afterwards, even if a Gentile relights the fire, the food retains its status as a Jewish cooking. It's already cooked. It's okay. Okay. So we're talking about Sephardi and Ashkenazi, and they have their parts that they're strict on. We have our own parts. And what would be the case if the hashgacha, the supervision, is by Ashkenazi and Ashkenazi cooking? The Sephardi goes there. Can he eat in a restaurant that the supervision is Ashkenazi? Sephardim traveling aboard or attending at the Seudat mitzvah, like a mitzvah meal, for example, bris, brit milah, okay? Brit milah, like we had this week. When was it? Sunday, right? Sunday. So you see Sephardi and Ashkenazi sitting together and eating. I'm going to talk about what we ate on Sunday. I want to bring it as an example. But could be one option of Seudat mitzvah, a mitzvah meal. It could be a holiday. It could be Purim, Seudah, whatever. So when you're traveling aboard and attending a Seudat mitzvah, are permitted, the Sephardim, b'diavad, when it's already, that's the situation, to eat at hotels and restaurants which have valid kashrut certificate by a recognized and reliable Ashkenazi kashrut agency. There's so many out there. You have to check if it's recommended or not recommended. Assuming it's recommended, this is the vow that everybody trusts, is well known. Even if there is a Gentile cook and the mashgiach, the supervisor, only lights the fire before the cooking, because for Ashkenazim it's good enough, for Sephardim it's not good enough. You have to be a little more active, not just lighting the fire. Nonetheless, they are advised to try to be strict about this and not to eat under such circumstances with the expression such a one will be blessed. Meaning it's okay, but if you avoid, you'll be blessed for that. Because you're showing that you are continuing your own tradition and you stick with that and you're not being tempted by going now eating steak in a place that it's just okay to be there. So for your own decision and discretion and whatever you want to do with that. Now, it does not mean that you'll be permitted to eat what's not permitted to Sephardi. For example, Sunday, we had here a Brit Milah, and they serve salmon, right? Salmon, smoked salmon, bagels, and I think it was cream cheese. It was cream cheese. Yeah. Cream cheese. So Sephardi, Ashkenazim and Sephardim Ashkenazi and Yemenite, again, Yemenite and Ashkenazim have no problem eating fish product with milk, with dairy product. Okay? You can mix the two. For Sephardim, it's prohibited. You can't eat fish and dairy together. It's a very old edict that was made by the Sephardi Rabbi after seeing that it can cause some sort of sicknesses. We have no tradition or history with that, thank God, so we have no problem. Therefore, you see in the brief, Sephardim, and says, okay, I'm here, this is Ashkenazi thing, maybe, and maybe I can eat it together. No, it does not permit you. You can eat everything, just don't mix the fish, smoked fish, salmon, with the cream cheese. Okay? Or drinking milk at the same time. Just to avoid that. All right? But you can do anything else. You can separate. You can before, a little bit after. You can just eat bagel maybe with the cream cheese and later this or without it. Do your math. All right? Okay. Let's talk a little bit about utensils used in Gentile cooking. Pots and utensils used for Gentile cooking need to be kashered by Hagala. Remember, we learned how to do Hagala to a utensil inside a boiling hot water. Even if they belong to a Jew, and even if all of the food is kosher. However, if there is a risk that the pots or utensils will be cracked in the boiling water of Hagala, one is permitted lechatchila, to begin with. Problem? To use them after 24 hours without kashrut them. Obviously knowing that they use that meal, everything, all the product was kosher. Similarly, earthenware dishes, like clay and stuff, which usually cannot be kashered at all, may be kashered if they become unkosher through Gentile cooking by doing a hagala 3 times in a row. The use for the processed kosher ingredients, it was made by a group of Gentiles. You gave them your pot for whatever reason. These leniencies are unique to cases of Gentile cooking. Utensils made unkosher by other means, such as by cooking trefa or treif. You know what treif means? Taref, treif. Okay. Give me an example of treif meat.
Sure.
This is one of the questions they might ask you. What's treif? Give me an example of treif. Ma? Forbidden. Give me an example of forbidden meat. Ma? No. I'm talking about kosher meat.
Oh, kosher meat.
Lobsters, you're absolutely right. Kosher meat that become treif.
Taref is the animal, they don't shechita.
Right.
Yeah.
So either no shechita, the killing it or no shooting it in the head, or a lamb. Lamb is kosher, but they kill it and not in a kosher way. Or chicken. They took the chicken, I don't want to discuss you, but let's say they chopped the head off with a knife. They didn't do kosher shechita. The chicken is kosher, but the process was not kosher. I mean, the shechita was not shechita, it was a slaughtering, it wasn't kosher slaughtering. It's called treif. Or it was kosher shechita, but something was wrong with the animal. Okay, so it was not, eventually didn't get the stamp that it was kosher. For example, they do a kosher shechita for an animal, okay? A cow, goat, sheep, whatever. Well, part of the process is that you open the belly and you check the lungs. If the lungs are smooth, meaning there's no holes, usually they put water, like they check in tires, in the what do they call it, the tire for less, I don't know what they call it, right? To see if air will escape. It means that it was sick and we're not supposed to eat it. Okay, so let's say the shechita was kosher, but they checked it and they declare it, they sign treif. So usually what they do, they sell it to Gentiles. For Gentiles, for them it's okay, it's no problem, you can eat it. For us, it's not kosher. But if the lungs are smooth, which in Hebrew called halak, okay, or glat. Glat is a Yiddish term for halak, which means kosher, it's fine. So it could be kosher shechita, but it's still treif. It's not halak. Right? So any type of food, meat, that someone cooked that is under the category of treif or taref or trefa. Trefa, there's more into it. You got to look it up. For example, it could be a sheep that was killed by an animal. A wolf came and killed it. So what's the Gentile usually do? They eat the meat, right? They eat the meat for them. It doesn't matter how and who killed the animal, right? They might be afraid and concerned if it would be killed by a snake. So the venomous is still there. It's poisoning. Maybe they won't eat it. But if it's killed by an animal, it's still good enough for them to eat, right? For us, it can't have to use kosher shechita. So it's another example for treif, right? You can imagine if wolves or wild animal breach into a farm and killed, several sheep, they're not going to trash it. They're going to use the meat. They clean it and they use it, which is completely okay. But for us as a Jew, we have to go through a kosher shechita. So that meat called treif, taref, treif, whatever they pronounce it. So utensils made unkosher but by other means, such as by cooking trefa, mixture of, for example, meat and milk, or chametz, may never be used unless they are properly kashered. So that if kashering is physically impossible, or if they are made of earthenware, the utensils may no longer be used. So if it's easy to kosher them, you kosher them, and then you can keep using them. If it's the material that the utensil is made of will break, you can't kosher them, you can't use it. Just give it to someone else that can get benefit from it. Don't trash it, but you may give it to a Gentile to use, friend, maid, whatever. What about a Gentile that is cooking for a sick person on Shabbat? When a Gentile cooks for a Jew legitimately, such as for a dangerously ill person on Shabbat, the pots and the utensils do not need to be kashered. In case of suffix feka, in case you have doubts, double doubts, such as if a Gentile maid is left alone in the house and one does not know whether or not she cooked in the pot, so he doesn't know and have no way to ask her, and you see the utensils in the sink, and you know what to do with it. Maybe she messed it up, maybe she used whatever. One may use them after 24 hours have passed from the time she was left alone. Okay, these questions, and especially in this generation, raises a lot, because as I mentioned before, today there is a lot of what we call ovdim zarim or oved zar, Gentiles that coming from India, the Philippines, Ukraine, Russia, Moldova, some Europe also coming, Romania I think also, a lot coming to Jewish homes in Israel to help elderly people. The Social Security Office funding it and helping out. So some just do half a day. And some, I know because my father has one. And some do 24 hours. They stay there. They live there. And it raises a lot of questions, not only about cooking. Some says if it's okay for them to bring what they believe in to their own room that they got in the house. Cross, Buddha, statues, unkosher food. It raises a lot of questions, a lot of conflicts. Okay, maybe for another time to talk. Most people don't feel comfortable with that. People bringing such things to their home. On the other hand, they want to respect that person. And it could be, many of them can be very, very good caregivers. You don't want to give up on them. So, in such a case, consult with the rabbi and he will tell you what can be done. Because it's really individual, it's about, there's a lot of details to every case, okay? We had our guys that comes to my parents' house, so usually my mom's cooking for him and he eats, but sometimes he likes to bring his own food. And obviously it's not kosher. So he knows on his own already, he always eat outside. My parents have a very nice porch, like pergola area. He likes to sit there and enjoy time outside, and he eats his own food, and we're completely okay with that. It's no problem. They can raise other questions. People work for you here in Dallas, repairs in your house, and they're bringing cheeseburger from McDonald's for lunch in your house on Pesach, okay? That happens on Yom Kippur, on Shabbat. Michelle, it can never happen. How Pesach can be Yom Kippur? Anyways, what are you going to do?
Don't order them to come.
So the halacha says it's okay to let them do, but they're bringing chametz to the house, but it's not your chametz. Obviously, we should ask them to eat outside. But if they ate in the house, they didn't make the house not kosher. Make sure that they clean up after them, okay? But this is just a few examples what kind of things we have to deal with sometimes as a Jew.
Tinfoil.
Huh?
Just wrap them in tinfoil.
All of them, the person with them. Okay, so next, cooking by a maid. It's number 7. According to the Shulchan Aruch, what is the Shulchan Aruch? Shulchan Aruch. Aruch means it's a set-up table. When you have a table with food on it, it's called Shulchan Aruch. But I'm referring to something else. What Shulchan Aruch means? Oh my goodness.
It's the guidance to...
What is Shulchan Aruch? Do you hear about the book Shulchan Aruch?
Yeah, it's like a book
Yeah.
outside.
What is it?
Rabbi Carol.
Rabbi Yosef Karo. So why are you looking at me like I'm asking a weird
The
question?
table threw me off.
No, he set it up. The book of Halacha. Thank you.
It's the way we should go.
Right. He pronounced it. He called it Shulchan Aruch. It means that he brings all the halacha ready for you. You don't need to look in the Mishnah and the Gemara and the Rambam. It's even the Rambam set it up very nicely. Shulchan Aruch means he brought it before you. It's ready. You just need to eat. Just need to open and read. Okay. Someone show me the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Oh, it was you, David, right?
Yeah.
This is a very good set. I loved it. Do you mind sending a picture of it? I'll put it on the group. You gave me like part 5, right? I got it. So it's how many total? 5 books you have? 5 books. Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. It's a short version, but covered pretty much everything. And it's a very good commentary on it. And I highly recommend to purchase this book. What was the cost for it? Do you remember? The whole set? $100-something. It's a must in every Jewish home. I looked through some of the commentary. It's really informative and give you a lot of sources. It's beautiful.
Is this in English?
In English.
Is it
Could-
ArtScroll?
ArtScroll, I think so. Yeah.
But it's the black one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's black and reddish or something.
but this is the according with the Ashkenazi.
It's according to Shulchan Aruch. It's a Kitzur Shulchan by Gansfried, right? But it's good. You know, when I was young in the yeshiva, I learned from this Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and I think they mentioned. I don't know if they mentioned that what's the halacha according to Sephardi, but most of it is the same.
It's just
Most of the halachot that we have,
It's just the first portion, right? It's not complete at all. The first portion.
I don't know this edition. I know it's cover everything, but whatever. No, the Kitzur, of course, is not covering everything. No, it's not going to cover everything. Kitzur, the short version, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
But it's good enough for everything you need. Obviously, it's not going to deal with crazy halachot, tuma and tahara and crazy things. Just going to mention it. But what you need for your daily life, Shabbat, holidays, kashrut even, you have it there.
Rabbi, what is different about this book?
The Alkut Yosef is for the Sfaradim. Alkut Yosef, but doesn't cover. They don't have many volumes. I think they're up to 16. Okay, it's also very good. Highly recommended to use this one, but they're more expensive, huh?
Mishnah Berurah and Shulchan Aruch is on the same level, or what is it?
Okay, the Shulchan Aruch was authored by Rabbi Yosef Karo. The Mishnah Berurah is from the Ramah. It's a comment. Let's say it's a commentary. Rabbi Moshe Isserlis wrote Haggah, and the Mishnah Berurah is also a comment and bring up the Ashkenazi customs. So if there's anything that is different in Ashkenazi customs, it will say, in our community, we don't do that, we do ABC. In our community, we are doing 6 hours versus, 2 hours, whatever, you'll see the comments on it. I just mentioned that I think it's a beautiful book that everyone really wants to purchase and have at home. Okay. According to Shulchan Aruch, cooking by a Gentile employed in a Jew's home is forbidden, even if he or she cooks kosher food in kosher pots. That's the core of the halacha. It's like contradict everything we just learned, right? If a Jew does not place the food on the fire or in some other valid way start the cooking. So it's not contradict. We're a little bit surprised. The food is forbidden and the pots need to be kashrut by Haggalah. This is just a tata, but let me see what it says. I want to repeat that. In order to make the food valid, kosherize it, is the Jew must participate. For Ashkenazim is very minor, fire. Sephardi is a bit extra. Okay. 8. Beside for placing the pots on the fire, a Jew must supervise a Gentile maid's cooking to see that he or she does not mix in any forbidden products or misuse the dairy and the meat utensils. I already told you this before, a very famous story that a person came to eat chulent. He says, every time I come here, the chulent is so tasty, it's so yummy. You know, and they figure out that when it came first time, it's more or less when the new maid came. And they investigate a little bit more and they found out that she's not using oil to the chulent, she's putting butter. And she thought it's okay, you know. It's not a big deal. You know. One time she didn't have the oil, so she had butter, and nobody said anything. This is why you need to be sure. You need to make sure in your own home they cook on kosher food. They don't know. They didn't do it purposely. So they're using 2 kosher ingredients that's in the refrigerator and the wrong way. This is why the maid needs to be supervised all the time, till they learn. There's some people have maids for years, and they know halachot more than average Jew. If they in a Haredi house, in an ultra-Orthodox house, they know the halacha, and they're very careful, and they ask, and they know really good. But it takes time to learn these things, so it has to be supervised. Let's go 2 more halachot, or 1 more. Cooking by an apostate Jew. You know what apostate Jew means? Misha. Anybody knows what apostate Jews?
A Jew converts to Catholicism.
Could just be a Jew that doesn't keep Shabbat or anything.
Close. Not necessarily.
Non-observant.
Close. Not observant can be, apostate can be a heretic. Someone that is a Jew. But let's say it could be atheist, doesn't keep Shabbat, like you brought up. It could be, you believe, Messianic, I don't know. You can trust them. Apikoros, something like that. So in one hand he's a Jew, and in the other hand his belief is not following the halacha, careless about it.
Would like a reform fall into that too? Or
Something like that?
Yeah. So let's go with secular. It's most everybody knows secular. Secular Jews that cook for you. Off the dairy, fine. So you go to someone's friend that is secular. Can eat in his house. You go to your parents, they're secular. Can you eat in their house? Okay? Your brother, sister, they're secular. They don't keep Shabbat. Here in Dallas, here it is. So we'll try everywhere actually. We have a case, I'm going to give you an example, that people that keeping kosher 100%, we know that they keep kosher, they buy kosher products, separation, everything, but they don't keep Shabbat. Can we eat in their house? All the ingredients are kosher, those who cook are Jewish, so it sounds technically okay, but we avoid doing that because if someone doesn't keep Shabbat, we don't trust him that he will be strict with the Jewish halacha. It might be lenient here and there. It can desecrate Shabbat, which is more serious than eating something that is
If they don't keep
not kosher.
Shabbat, it's like that they don't keep all the Torah.
Correct? But you have a reason why. For example, he knows that he needs to keep Shabbat, but he just live out of the Eruv and he have to drive. Otherwise, he will never see a shul in his life. So he lives like 10 miles away or 5 miles away. Okay, so they give an excuse. They're excusing himself that he can drive on Shabbat. Okay, so let's read the halakha and finish with that for today. As discussed in the introduction, we rule leniently regarding the cooking of Sabbath desecrators and apostate Jews, and permit its consumption as long as one is sure of the kashrut of the ingredients. So what we told you here, we don't follow that, we're more strict. Nonetheless, if someone ate, they don't think they need to go to Gehenna, he's not going to go to hell because of that. But we are more strict about that. Okay? That says Kafachayim and Minchat Yitzchak. For this reason, food factories owned by an apostate or avowedly Sabbath desecrating Jews, in which the workers are likewise Sabbath desecrating Jews, you see that they're driving on Shabbat, for example, can receive kashrut certification if the mashgiach, who is Yerei Shamayim supervisor, is a mashgiach that you can trust, is there in the restaurant or in the factory. The owner can be secular. Okay, we have here at least one, I know for sure, restaurant that they are both not keeping Shabbat, the owners. But they got the certificates because during the cooking and during the week, there's a supervisor there. Okay, the production from start to finish, when he watch, it's okay, they can get the certificate. Nevertheless, it is preferable that the mashgiach light the fire in order to start the cooking process, even if all the workers in the kitchen are Jews. Okay. Any questions? There's a lot into this cooking. We can raise a lot of questions. For example, the halacha says and warned you not to eat from someone that didn't wash his hand properly in the morning. Okay? So Baruch Hashem, in my house, I know Baruch Hashem, everybody wash. My wife washed the house. It's no problem, not a question. But you go to a restaurant, I don't know if they do that in the morning. Maybe they still have tuma, impurity in the hands from the night. No matter how many soap they use, their hands cleans, but the spiritual level is not. And some of them, even Gentile, they don't even know what washing hand means.
That you are talking about just the Jews.
Right now, this halacha, yes.
Who prepare the food, not the goat.
Even in such case, because they're secular, the halacha says to be more strict and lit the fire, just in case, cover all opinions. So no, it's very important to have a good and strong supervisor that makes sure. But I can tell you, Rabbi Klein told me, there's a guy here that used to have a restaurant and he'll never get a restaurant again, because Rabbi Klein, that used to be the Vad here, he moved to Florida. He told me more than once that he was watching him because he heard people saying he's owner for a restaurant, he's secular. And he says he himself, behind my back, add unkosher ingredients to the pot. He was waiting for me to turn my back, and he did it. And from that point on, he will never get supervision, a certificate again. He's been trying many times. Only one rabbi in the community is working with him, doing bar mitzvot in his place and all that. But I don't want to mention names. But yeah, this is why you have to check everything. Even the rabbi needs a checkup. Okay? So don't trust anybody. And today people will do anything for money, for whatever reason. So you have to check everybody. with that being said, I want to say thank you everybody for coming and participating in this class. God bless you with great parnasah and great livelihood. The next class will be on Thursday, Rabbi Liron, and we'll meet here again on Shabbat, Be'ez Hashem, 9:30 in the morning. Important to come on time. And you have a very important message on the night class group. To respond to it, because we need to prepare with food and everything else. If you have any further question, you may contact Yosef X issue. He is on the top of things here. Toda rabba everybody, and thank you Yosef for doing that. Shalom and Shavua Tov.
Shalom. Thank you so much, Rabbi.
Shalom, thank you so much, thank you.